Part 34. We are going to continue with proportion. You will find this on page 40 in the Namibian Mathematics Grade 9 textbook, y equals mx plus c to success. We are going to focus on inverse or indirect proportion. Now let's look at an example. A farmer has enough hay to feed 5 horses for 6 days. How long would the hay last for 3 horses? Now, remember that amount of hay is a constant. It stays the same. So if there's 2 less horses eating from that same amount, what will happen to the days? The days will increase. So the horses is going down and the days go up. And if it's making this one down and one up movement, then it's always inverse proportion. Okay, so I again write down my 2 things. Horses, days. I fill it in. 5 horses, 6 days. But now I will get a constant not by dividing, but by multiplying this 2. So I form a formula and say x times y is equal to a constant, that amount of hay. So I start by saying 5 times 6, that is 30. So the constant, that will be the constant, the amount of hay. Then I use again this formula. So I say 3 times y is going to give me that constant 30. And then I just solve the equation. I divide 3, and I get that the value of y is 10. So how long will this last? It will last 10 days. And you can see 3 times 10 is 30. 5 times 6 is 30. So you will not get a constant by dividing, but by multiplying this 2. Okay. I want you to do try now 45 number 1 as well as number 2, A and B. You can stop the video, and as soon as you are finished, you can continue with the video. If 12 men can build a house in 6 days, how long will it take 8 men? Okay, now remember, it's the same house. So 12 men takes 6 days. How long will it take 8 men? What happened to the men? The amount of men went down, and it's the same house. So what will happen to the days? It will go up. So this is definitely indirect proportion. Okay, so we are going to use, first let's just, it's men and it's days. And it's 12 men, and it's lasting 6 days. Now remember, let's call this x and this is y. We're going to get a constant by multiplying this 2. Okay, so if we multiply this 2, okay, let's just go on. How long will it take 8 men? So we can just fill it in here, 8. And I don't know this one, so it's y. So we use this formula. So we're going to say 12 times 6. And if I say 12 times 6, that's going to give me the value of k. So if I do this, I'm going to get an answer of 72. So k is going to give me 72. Then I use again this formula, x, y equals k. I fill in k, that's 72. That's representing the house. Okay. Then I fill in x, so that's 8, and that's y. So I divide 8. And I get that the value of y will be 9. So therefore, 8 men will take 9 days. Okay. Okay, let's just make space for number 2. Okay, let's start with number 2. Number 2A. In the students on a course are split into, if the students on a course are split into tutorial groups of 8, there will be 15 groups. Okay, so it's 2, so it's the groups. If the students are course into tutorial groups of 8, so it's the amount of students. And it's the group. how many groups. Okay, so if the student in a split, but now how many groups of 10? Remember, this is the same amount of students. So if there's 8, but now there's more in a group, then what will happen to the groups? It will become less. So one is going up, the other one is going down. So, okay, let's start. There's 8 students, and it's forming 15 groups. Okay, let's make it again X and Y. Then, how many groups of 10? So now 10, and then it's Y. So use the formula XY equals K. So I don't cross multiply, I multiply like this. So I'm going to say 8 times that 15 is giving me the amount of students. So that will be 120 amount of students. Then I use again this formula. I put the 120 in as well as the 10, and I'm looking for Y. And then I solve the equation. I divide 10, and the value of Y, that will be 12. So just ending, there will be 12 groups of 10 students. Okay, then if I look at number B, I'm just going to clean. I'm going to clean it only up to there, just to show you that I used the first part. Okay, let's just complete it. Because we're using the same, we just go to B. So if only 6 tutors are available, how many students will be in each group? So a tutor is for a group. So that means there can only form 6 groups. And I want to know the amount of students. So I use exactly the same top. So then I just go, this is now not number A, this is now number B. So I use again the formula XY equals K. So if I start doing that, I'm just going to say 8 times 15. It's going to be the same as the previous one. It's just giving you the amount of students, and that is 120. Then I use again this formula. And now in the place of X, I put just a X. And then I put there a 6. And it's K. And then it's 6X equals, oh, I forgot to substitute K. K is 120. So I divide 6 and I divide by 6. And then I will get that the value of X will be 20. So then I just end nice and say, there will be 6 groups of 20 students. And that's my final.